Like, it's delicious.
No, I don't.
The
think I
problem
have
with
that.
a lot of the Chinese food is that, you know what's the most... First of all, I don't eat meat. But also, even when I did, I always hated the pieces of ham that they put in the Dutch Chinese food.
Ham?
Just any... Yeah, they put like pieces of ham in it. Like some complete idiot. No one likes the ham. Literally one of the things that everyone does when they get the stupid bami, which is like noodles.
Yeah.
They take out the pieces of ham that every Chinese restaurant tends to put in, and no one knows why.
I see. No, English Chinese food is pretty basic. It's like fried rice and like fried rice, meat, and a Chinese sauce. You know. Well, some people go like chips and curry sauce. Like some people, that's what the Chinese is. It's like chips and curry sauce or something. It's pretty
Chips and curry sauce.
bad. Yeah, man. England people in England are not very exciting. You know, so for some people, going wild is like having lemon chicken. You know.
Nice. I don't think we have lemon chicken. I don't know. I don't really eat Chinese food anymore. I used to eat we used to go to a Chinese place a lot around the corner in my old town. It was called Asia, which I realized afterwards is just
Asia
Asia.
with a Z.
That took a long time to for that one to drop. But yeah, and then afterwards, I've been a big fan of people always crap on all you can eat, but I really like all you can eat places.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
a big fan of all you can eat buffet styles. Just many different things.
You
can eat
mix it up a lot.
You mix it up a lot. Yeah, and I like to eat a lot. So one time we went to this restaurant where my brother worked. And this was like a pretty high-class restaurant. He was the dishwasher there when it was like his job. And we went there. And then I remember being so frustrated that the portion size was so little, you know? And I remember at the end of it just being like, I'm still kind of hungry. And like 4-course meal or something like that. I remember being upset by that. And then I made the promise that I'm never going to get hungry when I go out to eat when I'm older. So ever since then, I just... I also have no problem ordering 2 like main dishes and like 1 starter, like in a regular restaurant. Like I just need to. I hate it after you're done eating. Then half an hour after you need to eat again. Like why did you go out then? You know?
Yeah.
So you're gonna eat some chips at home. What type of garbage is this? No. If I go out to eat, I don't want to have to eat again for the next 3 days. That is, that is what I feel like. But Irene doesn't feel the same, even though she also, she doesn't. She also likes all you can eat. But she once challenged me. Okay, so she challenged me twice actually. And for people who don't know Irene is like very very small. Like, well, I'm not very small, but she's very thin, and she's like I think like 165 or something like this. I'm like 196. I'm like 95 kilos at that point, and she said that she could eat more than me. Yeah, this was back when I still ate meat. We went spare ribs eating, and I think it was like the little bones. I think I had like 28 or something like that, and she had like 14. It wasn't even close. And the winner, the loser would have to pay. And she legit thought she was going to win. We also once did a speed eating competition, which I also destroyed at. Have you ever had kapsalon when you were in the Netherlands?
No.
Okay.
Kapsalon? Maybe I do. Let me search it.
We'll get you one of those. Nothing's happening in the game, by the way, yet, guys.
Yeah. Super boring.
Yeah. So basically, it's like fries, like
fries
salad,
and
it's like a doner teller.
Yeah, it's just a doner teller. Yeah.
With like melted cheese on top of it. I had like the mega one of that, which I think was like 1,400 calories, and I finished it in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And after that, my heart started pounding so freaking fast that I thought I was going to die. But she never finished hers. Like she was really sick. I remember that night because both of us were so nauseous afterwards that we just fell asleep or something like that. Like super sick. It's actually not good for you to eat that fast, guys. I'm an eating professional. Okay, I've been eating all my life, so I know a lot about food. So don't try this at home. Now, this nicely covered the early game, as you see 3 queens shooting at a couple of cars, and he's actually playing 8-car Hellion here. 2 barracks are being constructed at home, so he needs to do something with these cars. But RagnaroK really isn't looking that sharp today. His creep threat is pretty mediocre so far. There's not a single tumor out of his third base yet. He isn't reaching his fourth, so that's going to be hell to get as well. Like, what is this, Wardy?
It's not great, that's what. No, I mean, Banshee's gonna come in, maybe grab a drone, has to go away, but just poking and prodding. Clem probably kind of like, well, I'm used to kind of finding creep tumors to kill by now, but there's been no targets, so yeah. It's a little tough. He's gonna find one now. If he wants on the right side, obviously you should get that anytime you can deny a creep tumor for free. It's obviously a good thing. And this time RagnaroK is going to go for that faster Spire build. So he's going to try and go quickly into the meters, but that's a long way off. And right now the Banshees are here picking up a couple kills, and he's going to take on the Queen.
Yeah, these Banshees are ballsy, man. Gonna start fighting the Extractor as well. I'm not too sure about that one. Overseer shows its rears its ugly head, and actually gets a Banshee with the Queens as well. So that's nice little damage here. Now 8 cars are out. First tank is on the way. That's the first tank, right? Yeah, okay. So he's gonna push with, I guess, 1 tank towards the fourth, but there isn't even a fourth yet, Wardy. Like, we're 6 minutes and 10 seconds into the game. The fourth base starts right now. This is not looking too tight. And
Clem maybe could have even denied it if he was there for just like a moment longer and saw the drone. That would have been a dead drone, absolutely. So, no, RagnaroK's in a whole bunch of trouble. He's just gonna have to try and find a way to hold this first attack more than anything. That's his first kind of, order of business, and then he's gonna have to deal with the fact he'll be behind on the upgrades. Obviously, that's where the meters are meant to help you out a little bit, but I mean, 7 meters on the way up. I mean, I just don't know what this does to kind of hold on from the push from happening.
Yeah, so the things I'm worried about right now here for RagnaroK is I think he should be capable of holding this first push, because bailing speed is going to finish in time. The thing that I'm really afraid of is that I don't think he's going to have much space to drone up at all. I just don't see him holding this push in such a way that he can easily go up to a drone count where he actually starts outmining his opponent, which means he's just going to fall behind in supply. His creep threat has been atrocious so far. Now, turrets are already up. Are you joking, Clem? At least in the third base. Main base has nothing yet, but there's a couple of Marines in the natural. There's no combat shield, no 1-1 yet. Maybe it is possible that RagnaroK gets a very good cleanup here, but he needs to get the Mutas home in that case.
And they're on the way. Clem goes back. He's going to put his Marines position, protect the tank. Looks like Clem's just happy to wait for the upgrades to finish. He knows the position that he's got, and RagnaroK also knows the position Clem's got, so he's going to jump on this. Clem has a way to move to get out of here. Targets down a couple of Banelings as he goes. Needs to boost the medevacs. Loses 1. Good time from RagnaroK to jump, because Clem was just waiting for upgrades. RagnaroK jumping on that before then just means he gets a better cleanup, an easier cleanup than what he would have had to face had reinforcements and upgrades finished up.
Yeah, we're actually going into an 8 Rex, by the way. You see the no reactor on the 3 extra barracks. So Clem losing that first tank is going to be a little bit annoyed by that. And that fight also didn't end up going too well. RagnaroK found some space to build a couple of drones, but the creep threat, especially around that fourth base, is still looking mighty bad here, Wardy. As quickly now the production for Clem is ramping up. His income is still extremely fine, and generally against 8 Rex you want to get some counterattacks out on the map. You want to force these reinforcements not to be straight rallied, but not a single Ling has made it to the other side of the map. The Muta count is growing happily, it's growing rapidly, and maybe with those Mutas he can do something.
Yeah, Mutas are really going to be his lifeline or his way to get something done here, unless, like you say, the Ling Bane starts to show up a little bit on the run bys. Right now, there's just nothing, right? I mean, now we're going to see some Lings down the left-hand side. There's only a Banshee here, and a couple of Marines that were nearby are going to back away, so that is an opportunity, but you then obviously still have to deal with this attack that's coming across. The Mutas are on the counter-attack as well, so as Marines show up, let's see how this goes. I don't like it for the Lings, but with the Mutas, it's going to be okay. Okay, well, Clem needs to do some damage now.
Yeah, this was very, very big, beautiful play there with just that Ling run by, clearing that turret, clearing a bunch of the SCVs. Then the Mutas come in. There's nothing for Clem really here. Picks up the tank. There's not enough Marines in the main base either. I think Clem is just going to keep losing his production while it's being built again and again and again. Now the 2-2 upgrades are delayed for both players. They're very late. RagnaroK tries to jump on top of this turret. I don't think we'll be able to get it, and as the next round of Marines pops out, maybe Clem will be able to stabilize. He still has a scary push on the other side, but there's so many Banelings there right now, Wardy. 45 Banelings against what seems to be maybe 35 or 40 Marines, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be, he really needs some good connections here. Some Morphing Bane's going to get hit. Because RagnaroK, one of his problems right now is he's been supply blocked, so he actually could have had more on the map, but supply blocks have slowed him down. He makes 2 more mutas, which, you know, his muta count has taken a hit, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that, right? You need to get units to clean this up right now. Mutas, you know, 2, 3, 4 more mutas just don't change anything in this fight for me, I don't think.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be fine. Starts tanking with the queens, moves down, takes a couple of these tank shots. Here come the banelings, not that well split, but I don't think there's enough firepower with these tanks for Clem to truly get a good fight out of this worker count. 28 against 79. Orbital command flew to the main base, but is still alive. Medevac count still is relatively high, but we're working with 14 marines here against 11 mutas still out on the map. And during all of this, RagnaroK cleverly expanded towards that far left base. So I think RagnaroK is in an extremely strong lead. That counterattack was so brilliant, and you know the thing with these counterattacks, Wardy, as well, is that very often the first counterattack is the one that does the most, right? Because the Terran is like, oh crap, he counterattacks, and afterwards they're gonna be more prepared for it. But the entire series so far, or this entire game, there really hasn't been any counterattacks, no Ling run-bys, and it felt like Clem kind of forgot about the possibility, and he got a bit unlucky with his reinforcement timing there as well. He had like 5 Marines left, and 3 seconds earlier he still had like 2 medevacs and 18 Marines. So absolutely beautiful play there by RagnaroK, who, despite his relatively poor early game performance, just by good unit movement and understanding the position that he's in, seeing those barracks, he's like, hey, if I counterattack, perhaps I can do a lot there. And then, I mean, he never really overcommitted into Clem's army. That first cleanup was very important as well, which was, once again, just a lot better than you kind of expect in these situations.
Jeez. RagnaroK, a big game against Clem. As, you know what? Making it difficult to get to the 5th base or beyond that 5th base as a Zerg, while having the very, you know, stable 4 bases, right? So very little chance to counterattack, very difficult to make counterattacks work. Now, I've never loved this map for Zerg, but I can understand why they like playing it as well. It is large, right? You can get a lot of bases. You just have to be able to deal with that Terran aggression and sometimes really force the run-bys in as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Harry. As always, we're on the same line, Marty. Talking about lines, did you watch the Johnny Cash movie, Walk the Line?
I did not.
Man, that's a banger. It's with the guy that plays in the Joker movie, I think.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah. He's a really nice face as well. I like him. He's cool. But that movie is sick. If you like Johnny Cash, you should watch it. Even if you don't like, I didn't like Johnny Cash before the movie. Afterwards, well, I didn't like him, but I was like, yeah, that's cool. It's a cool movie, man. The guy did a good job. He's a good actor. You know, I don't know that many actors, Wardy, but I know him. And you know who else I also like? Tom Hanks. But with Tom Hanks, I always feel like I already know the entire story in the first 5 minutes, you know? It's a little bit too dramatic sometimes in my mind. It's like always these historic events and he's the main guy. You don't have big opinions on movies, do you?
Absolutely. No.
Yeah, you strike me as a movie guy.
I strike you as a movie guy, or I don't?
You don't.
No.
You're more of a TV show watcher.
Yeah. No.
Probably loved Game of Thrones and the Pokemon season 1 till 8.
My girlfriend keeps like struggling to find stuff to watch, and she's like, man, maybe you should watch this, but you probably say, I'm like, nope, never seen in my life. She's like, what? So apparently now it's really easy to pick films to watch because I've just not seen anything.
Have you seen In Bruges?
Nope.
Okay, watch it. You'll love that.
In Bruges?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah?
It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, you should actually watch it. Have any of my recommendations ever been crap worthy? You remember when I told you which pasta to eat? You loved it.
Yeah, actually. He gave me the recipe. It was good, yeah. It was. 10 out of 10. Easy to make.
Easy
tasty.
to make. Tasty. Yeah, and cheap.
Cheap, yeah, no, it was real cheap.
You could even consider it healthy. So
I would consider it healthy, absolutely.
Yeah, it's perfect. Now, In Bruges is the same, basically. It's a perfect recommendation, all right? It's so good. It's actually ridiculously funny. We have, was this a 2-on-1 Wardy, or what?
2-on-1, no Reaper. So, yeah, Clem just going to get a bit aggressive early in the game. Obviously, we all know how a 2-on-1 works. You get up to 16 Marines, you go across, you drop, and you have a good time generally with that stim pack early in the game. Obviously, skipping the Reaper just speeds things up a little bit as well, so it really gives you sometimes a little excess of Marines. It's something that Beyond really started doing. He said, well, if I'm going to go 2-on-1, I just don't care about Scout, and I'm going to believe in my Marines.
Yeah, fact. No, definitely. I wish there was a better name for the 2-on-1. You know what I mean?
You know, like something like a nickname rather than
less
numbers.
descriptive, like more interesting or something. Like the German taxi was such a good name. I'm still upset that we haven't continued with this trend. It's because too many of the builds are too old, and then people will be like, "Oh, let's just do 2-on-1." It's like, no, this is now, I don't know what we could call it, but something cool and funny. This is why I always liked Husky Starcraft. He called the 1-1-1 the Destiny Cloud Fist. I thought that was hilarious when I was 18. I still think it's pretty funny. I'm 26 now, Wardy.
What?
I think that was when I was 16, maybe. It's been 10 years.
Why the Destiny Cloud Fist, though?
I don't know. There was the first 3 words that popped in his mind. Because Husky was frustrated by the fact that it was such a boring name as well. Another thing that I agree with Husky on.
Yeah, this is going to be a big 2-base push. Hellbat's with this, so you react out Hellions instead of the Medevac, and it's a good thing that RagnaroK's putting that Baneling nest down, because if he doesn't have Banelings for this, you just absolutely roll over and die to it.
Yeah. You absolutely get blasted here. Now, this is, of course, a little bit more, all-in, aggressive. This is extremely aggressive, and Clem will need to do definitely some big damage here, right? He can't just be happy with trading out 4 Hellions for a Queen and a half and killing 3 tumors. Like, we're gonna need to see a good trade against Lynx here. Is ideally ideally you straight up win the game, you kill all the Queens, but that's rather unlikely against a player the caliber of RagnaroK. RagnaroK, who still doesn't have a fort started yet at this point, and I'm completely fine with that. He's pulling all the Queens. That Medevac's already taking a bit of damage. There's a lot of transfuses available. I think there's 2, maybe even 3 more. And this is, so far, not doing anything, and Clem is going to be a little bit upset by that.
Yep, that was not good at all. He actually ran the Hellions down via the Overlord, right? So RagnaroK got a bit of a side. He did morph Balins in. Even though he can't get a lot, it's still just enough to force you to split away, and that just takes away so much power of this army that Clem was going for. So a little tough now as he goes towards combat shields. Gets the engineering base start, but yeah, he's going to be playing from behind in every aspect. Remember, he still didn't start a 3rd CC, right? So he's playing very aggressively now, still on 2 bases.
Yeah, this is not very good for Clem. All the targets on the Baneling,
wow,
that was beautiful. Holy crap.
That felt like it was a tank there.
Trading poorly. Yeah.
Like, Widowmine, right? They all just disappeared in like a second.
Combat is about to finish. There's still no Banelings. Oh, it's so unlucky right now. Well, unlucky. He just doesn't have the health really to stim another time, and he's afraid for good reason, obviously. He's waiting for that extra medevac, but that's giving his opponent a lot of time. That was such a good trade there for Clem. See it in the units lost as well right now. That's looking crazy good for Clem, but his 3rd is still late. I still think he wants a little bit more here. Oh, there's mind drops, Wardy. I've been missing that.
Oh yeah, me too, absolutely. You know what, I saw the Widowmines load up and I completely forgot about them because of the Baneling target fire. You know, Clem, he can still target down what is only currently 3 Banelings on the right-hand side there. There's 3 on the bottom as well. I mean, it's not impossible to just get rid of them, but again, he's on creep, he's being a little bit cautious. RagnaroK has a counterattack set up, but not really going to get through the wall unless he commit Banelings. He just doesn't have the gas income to really afford the Banelings to go busting across the map, while he still has to get more Banelings out to defend.
Fantastic mechanics, by the way, by RagnaroK, who somehow, even though pulling all 7 of his queens constantly, has been capable of getting the injects off. Even right now, like the queen is going back into the main, the natural still has an inject going. This is really not easy, and that's very impressive if you've been under constant pressure since the 5-minute mark. He's trying to expand to the right side. This is the one bad thing that he hasn't been able to really get yet. He hasn't been able to get a 4th base yet. And Clem now is setting up his own 3rd base. I think there is some pressure at this moment on RagnaroK to start pushing this back in a big way, because he needs to start droning up again. He's been on 56 workers for the past minute and a half, 2 minutes, Wardy. This is not quite what you want as a Zerg player.
Yeah, and he has that one strip of creep up the right-hand side, but that's really like about it, right? And now he's going to lose the active tumors on this low ground, so this creep isn't great. The depot is down though, and Clem's reaction is just not going to be in time, so all of a sudden we are going to see Lings up into the main base as well, so this is a huge problem all of a sudden. Lings and 2 mineral lines. As long as Clem actually loses SCVs, but right now that's not happening. 7?
Ends up losing 7, but this is
a lot of
cool if you have
links.
85 workers, but this was a lot of links as well. So yeah, 14 workers is a lot. There's still something happening at the third base as well, and the one thing that it does do, it relieves some of that constant pressure that RagnaroK has been feeling, but overall, I'm not even sure how bad this was for Clem. Okay, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't.
No.
This lasted a little bit too long. But initially, I was feeling the same. I was like, oh, wait a second. Like 2 mines kill like 25 links, and maybe it's possible. But I think this just gave a little bit too much breathing room here for RagnaroK, who managed to get up to 64 workers. Gets his Hydra then out. There's 6 mines though already. There's 6 mines. If Clem manages to hit with these mines to the other side of the map before Hydras are out, this could be a real issue. I just don't see a way for Clem to truly move out because he has no vision on the map. He scanned the forward base and he's like, oh my god, you took this one, you complete clown. He's actually gonna move there right now. Sees a couple of Banes rolling in towards his third base. Ooh, loses 3 workers. That was close.
Yeah, it could have been more. It is crazy, right? I mean, it's one of those scenarios where suddenly this one attack has given RagnaroK everything he needed, because now the space allows him to get the Hydras up, the Carapace upgrades coming through nicely, and just, well, all of the advantages that Clem had really just kind of rested on him being on the other side of the map in that position. There's another run by sets up.
Yeah, this one shouldn't be able to do as much. Mine's not in position yet, though. Oh, not in time with the burrow here. But there's a crap ton of links. Does RagnaroK just go in there? I'm not too sure about that. There's a mine at the third base as well. Does get a decent hit. 2 workers have gone down so far already. There's still a couple of Marines alive, but 7, 8 workers are going to fall. Clem once again.
Oh no!
Forced back.
I thought that Widow Mine was going to blow up all the SCVs, but he unborrowed it because I think he realized the exact same thing.
Nice.
So, yeah, avoids the friendly fire. Detonation of a mineral line there. That would have been very unfortunate.
4 Hydras now. 2-2 is getting close to being finished up. There's 11 mines on the map already. Look at the split on these mines. Boom, boom, boom. It's moving forward. It's a good hit there with that first mine. On burrows, because he wasn't going to be happy with just 3 Banes. He's like,
Yeah.
I want more, my friend. I want more.
Wants to keep an active Widow Mine here as well, makes this fight harder, and he does get a bit of a better connection now. More Widow Mines at the back as the Lings flank in, but Clem has to lift up and get out of there. He does have to leave all of this happening before 2-2 again. RagnaroK's been so good at fighting just before upgrades come in for Clem and earlier Bunny as well, right? He's always been jumping on armies just before the upgrade disadvantage settles down.
Yeah, 2-2 for Clem right now. 1-2, so still has that Carapace upgrade here for RagnaroK, which is really the most important thing, because if the Banelings connect, they connect, you know. The Link shouldn't be doing too much damage anymore at this point. Range upgrade is finished for the Hydras, I believe. We now have speed for the Hydras and +1 attack for Hydralisk as well. I think we're looking at a Lurker game here. And I know Clem had been struggling past tense against Lurkers for a while, but lately it felt like he was getting better against it.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird position to play against Lurkers from, though, right? Because it feels like RagnaroK's already 5 bases. You know, creep spread is now getting to be very good. Clem's not done anything about that in a while. And right now he's not finding any further openings with these couple of drops. So it feels like a tough position to play against Lurkers from. But of course, we're still a while away from Lurkers. We still got to get the Hive up, Lurker done down. So some time for Clem to stabilize, get a 4th base down.
Stop forgetting about seismic spines. Right.
That's what I mean, like go up to Hive.
Seismic spines.
You can play Lurker Den now if you want, but you need the Hive for the upgrade. That was the Yeah, I get it, right? This is why I need to describe what's happening on the screen, because sometimes you just don't get it. I try to infer something, it's just not obvious.
I learned Wardy that. Oh, actually, let's hold that thought. As Hydra Bane Mine is moving very aggressively across the map. There's a crap ton of Banes. There's only a single tank. There's a couple of mines back here. Can RagnaroK just break it like this? Seems unlikely. Oh my god,
wow.
No, just definitely can. That was a bad mine hit right there. Pick up, back into the main base. This is not going to be. He's dropping single Marines on top of those Banelings. He's microing 3 Marines back, but he's just lacking the damage output here. And I think this might be it. Single G from Clem as RagnaroK takes out the Frenchman. And we'll advance on to the next.